Today is a very exciting day because my fourth graders and I are about to go to the cafeteria to meet Max Brallier, author of The Last Kids on Earth. Yep, that's what made the afternoon very interesting in my class. And the students saw me as a teacher. This was something that I sort of struggled with, and they need to understand I'm not going to give up. Good morning and welcome to another classroom vlog here on Pencils and Magic Wands. If you're new here, my name is Mariely Sanchez and I am a fourth grade teacher in South Florida. Today is a very exciting day because my fourth graders and I are about to go to the cafeteria to meet Max Brallier, author of The Last Kids on Earth. So I hope to show you a few glimpses of that and have a great time at the presentation. I'll be sure to catch up with you either lunchtime, specials, or at the end of the day. See you later.
Everyone, I have a special guest for all of you guys, the author of The Last Kids on Earth, Max Brallier! Mr. Brallier, we are so happy to have him. A round of applause for Max Brallier! Mr. Brallier, we have a special gift for you.
Because when I was in fourth grade, that's kind of like where my story of like figuring out I wanted to be a writer started. But when I was in fourth grade, I thought I knew what I was going to be when I grew up. Jump into action, to day to day. That's what I would do. That was me telling myself stories. A lot of times kids come up to me and they say, I'm writing a book and it's going to be 1,000 pages and it's going to be amazing. I'm like, that's a lot of work. So they come with like a kind of cool idea and then write like a 5-page story with the beginning and the middle and an end. One good thing you can do is like keep a journal or a diary. That's a good way to get like ideas and things. And then write about like some part of your everyday regular life. But what I do is I do that, then I kind of make it like crazy or fantastic. I think that's a good way to sort of write stories.
Hi everyone, I'm here with Max Brallier.
Hello!
Author of the book The Last Kids on Earth.
I wrote it.
Yeah, he did, and it is amazing. Be sure to check him out.
Thank you.
And just in case, I'm sorry, because one of my students told me, oh, the book didn't show. Let me show you the book again. Here's the book. The Last Kids on Earth. Make sure you check them out. Now the students are in PE and I have been trying to figure out what to do with this star finder. Initially, I had printed this one out from the actual Pearson Elevate Science curriculum that we have. And then I tried to follow the directions and I wish they had a video to show you how to use it. But I cut it apart and the back is folded. Now I did fold it down this way. I don't know if I'm supposed to fold it the other way. But the directions say that you would put this and it will kind of hold here where the folds are. However, you can't see the months if you do that. It kind of covers it. I mean, I know I'm doing something wrong. I just don't know what it is. So then I said, no problem. I had already made copies of the one that I got from the NASA website, which you cut it out and it's like a cootie catcher. And I thought that this was like a constellation star finder that you could use to actually find stars. But here it is. And once I had finished it and I had put it together, I discovered that it's actually a game that you play. So let me put it on my fingers so I can show you. So it looks like that and it has 4, 5, 6, and 9. So the person would choose the number, you're playing with another person, and then you will, use it like a cootie catcher. So if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, the person will then choose one of the constellations that's there. So let's say they choose Leo, so they would spell it out and they will go L-E-O, and then the person would choose one more constellation that's in there. Let's say they choose Virgo, so when they open it, they can see Cassiopeia is there and all that stuff, they can try and see which of the constellations they need to find. So if they find one that's in red, that's the constellation they need to find. It's a cute game, but it doesn't go with what I'm trying to get my students to understand about the patterns that we see in the night sky. So instead of doing that, I found this really great star finder from a website, and they also have a YouTube video with the person going over it, showing you how to use the star finder. It is 2 pages like this. So first you have to circle, and then you have where the holder would go. You will cut it along the solid line, and the dashed lines are fold lines, so that you fold it on the bag like this. And I just added a little piece of tape on the flaps themselves so I can actually insert and take out my circle so that I can then move. See how the dates are here by months, and the little lines are the days of that month, and here are the times. Now, that's what you use in order to look at the night sky at that time and see what constellations you can see. Now, I went ahead and I kind of traced with my Flair colorful pens the different constellations that students might be more familiar with. And one of my teachers in my 4th grade team yesterday shared the science lesson plans, and she gave this great idea for the students to do like a NASA news bulletin where they will each get a different constellation, and they have to draw the constellation on black construction paper with like a white crayon and give a little report about that constellation, what it represents, where you can find it, and things like that. I thought that would be cute. Maybe that's a project that I can give them next week on Monday for science homework that they'll turn in on Friday of next week. So I'm thinking of doing that. But I thought this was a much better idea, and I have a whole class set of these that I actually did print in cardstock so the students can have it and they can use it to locate stars in the night sky. So that's what I've been working on. And now I have like maybe 5 more minutes before my planning time is over. Now when they come back from PE, I'm going to continue with math, and then I'm going to end with science and social studies. So my whole goal today with social studies is for them to at least do the sorting of the pictures that go with the social scientists that I kind of mentioned in the previous vlog. So I have my sample here. So here are the headings for all of the 4 social scientists, and these are all the pictures that they're going to categorize into the category that they feel it best belongs in. So the way I did it is like 6 pictures per category. So we'll see what they come up with. I have it all set for each team to have 1 box with pictures and headings. And I did do it by color teams because colors, I love colors. All right, so let me get going and I'll check back with you at the end of the day. All right, so we're gonna see which team is going to sort these cards into the correct social scientist the quickest. On your mark, get ready, go.
Political scientist. Just take them all out. It's for you. Who wants to decision? Politician. Thank you. First decision. That's geographer. That's Donnie. That's Donnie. That's me.
What about the?
I think this one is a guy.
Oh, nice story.
Yeah, American. Wait, no. I thought that's for me.
Oh, wow.
We finished for done.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Please spread them out so I can see them.
Done. Yes. Done.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you guys are done.
They won.
End of the day, and as you saw, the students had a lot of fun with that social scientist picture sort activity. Since we were running out of time, I made it into a little competition, and the fastest team finished in 50 seconds. The second fastest team was right behind them at about maybe 55 seconds. The third team, there were 2 teams that were tied. They were about a minute, and the other teams took a little bit longer than a minute, but less than 2 minutes, definitely. And it was great because I could actually assess really quickly that they understood which are the things that each of the social scientists focuses on. That's what we ended up doing at the end of the day. We didn't get to science today, and I knew that was going to happen because I was trying to give more time to math. And we did continue going over math. we added a couple more standards to our notebooks, and they also went ahead and practiced some of those problems. Let me show you, because the resource that I have shared with you before in the past that I use for my interactive notebooks, she actually made updates, and I really like the updates. So let me show you two of the sheets that I printed out for the students to put in their notebooks as part of the updates. So here's our math notebook. This is my example, as you may recall. And this is a standard that we just finished adding. We have been doing it, but we just hadn't added to our notebook. And we took notes, and I made sure that they understood the meaning of inverse operations. And this is what I'm talking about. This is her resource. She is now Create, Teach, Share. Her name is Rebecca Rojas. And I really love this new spread. She has new graphics. She fully updated it, and it's awesome. So basically, it goes over here, and it goes over how using a grid can help you make sure the numbers are in the right place. But we also took notes over here. Line up the digits by place value, start from right to left, and things like that. So we did do that. And then we added our comparative relational thinking standard, which is for Florida. Common Core doesn't have this one, but Florida Standards does. So we started taking notes on that. Comparative means to compare. Relational means to relate. And I needed them to know the difference between equal and not equal to, so if they ever see this sign, they know what it means. And we started taking notes. Let me show you on the board. So we started taking notes on these two standards, and I showed them a little video of a fourth grade teacher doing this particular lesson, which is an extra lesson with her fourth grade class. So if it's an addition comparison, what they do is they first find the relationship of the first two add-ins. So 42 and 39, what happened from 42, I took away 3. So then you will use the opposite of that relationship, which is plus 3. So that means that 15 plus 3 should equal 18, which it does. So this is a true equation. If it's subtraction, then you again see how these two numbers are related. So from 79, I added 7. So then that means that if this is plus 7, this should also be plus 7 to make it true. But from 34, I actually added 14 to get to 48. So then this is false, because this side does not equal this side. What I told them the whole rationale is they want them to kind of figure it like this as an algebraic kind of thinking concept. But in reality, what they're doing is 42 plus 15 is 57. Then this should be 57 in order to be true. 39 plus 18 is 57. So this is why this is true. Once I showed that to them, they were like, oh, a light bulb went off in a lot of their heads. And then this one, 79 minus 34 is 45. But 86 minus 48 is 38, therefore this is false. So that's one part of the standard, which is this one, 1.8a. So those are the notes that we were taking, and I know this is gonna take them a little bit more to understand, and we'll continue working on this in our spiral math review so that they can have a better understanding of it. So that's what we did in math. I'll also review the chapter review test that they had for homework before they take the test. So if they had any questions on any of those problems, we can solve it together in class and figure it out so that they can then take their topic 1 assessment, which we're a little behind in. They were supposed to do it last week. All right, so that's all we did for today, and now I'm getting ready to go home and relax and have a good time. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, welcome to Friday. Yay, Friday, last day of the school week, beginning of the weekend, and it's also my funky t-shirt Friday. And I know last week I said I was gonna wear a Star Wars shirt because I didn't have a Harry Potter shirt to wear every Friday of the school year, but my shirt today actually combines the two. It's one of my favorite shirts because it goes Harry Potter versus Star Wars. Now later on, I will show you a better picture of what it looks like. It compares different characters. So like Harry is just like Luke Skywalker, and Hermione is just like Princess Leia, and Ron is like Han Solo. Darth Vader is just like Severus Snape, Emperor Palpatine is just like Voldemort. So it goes through it. I think it includes other, oh yeah, Dumbledore is just like Obi-Wan Kenobi. And yeah, I think I covered all of those, but it explains a little bit more and gives more details about why they're similar. So I thought that was really cool. So I'll show you that. I also brought one of my lightsabers, which is an UltraSaber, one of the more expensive lightsabers. Now this one doesn't come with all the bells and whistles, because if you know anything about UltraSabers, and I'll leave a link to their website down below, those lightsabers can be quite expensive as you keep customizing it. So mine doesn't have sound, mine doesn't have the color slowly rising up, mine just turns on. And it is a dark side lightsaber because it is red, but it's fun and I wanted to go along with this. Oh, and by the way, notice, lightsaber, wand. Another similarity and somewhat of a difference too. But anyway, it's a really fun shirt. I can't wait for the students to see it. Today they have a couple of tests. They have a math test, they have a vocabulary test, and I'm going to postpone the social studies test for next week because they're going to be presenting their artifacts today, and I don't think we're going to have enough time for that test. Also, I wanted to say that last night I posted my vlog from the previous 2 days, and I was very open about my struggles with depression. And I said to myself, even if it helps at least one person, at least I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to tell you, it has at least reached one person. My subscribers are amazing. The comments you have left me so far have really touched me deeply. Some of them actually put me to tears, happy tears, appreciative tears, humbling tears. And I just know that doing this, what I'm doing, sharing my teacher life, sharing my personal struggles, I know in some way inspires you or helps you. Even if it just inspires and helps one person, it's all worth it. So thank you so much to all my subscribers. I love you so much and I appreciate you so much. And as you know, I try my best to reply to every comment posted on my videos. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so appreciative. All right, so I'm very excited for today. I'm actually gonna turn on my lights because it's Friday and I let my previous 4th graders, which are now 5th graders this year, come in and spend time with me because they're family and I love them so much and I know they love me so much. So we're here for each other. So let me go ahead and do that now and I'll catch up with you later. All right, everyone, so it's the end of the day, the end of the 4th week of school, and boy, it's been a day. It was fine up until the end. We got a little frustrated with math, and I'll show you what I mean in a moment, because I'm going to show you the math that the students had to kind of understand and work through. We did our best, and I know that this is a standard that we're going to review next week as part of our math warm-up. I'm just going to give them maybe 1 or 2 problems every day next week so that they can practice it, because this is one of those standards, because it's an algebra standard, that they're going to have to keep practicing until they finally understand what they need to do. I myself didn't completely understand the math because I thought I understood it, but there was one particular problem where the rationale for finding the solution didn't quite work. So I had to go back to the drawing board and try to figure it out myself, and I'll show you that in a minute what I mean. But anyway, as you saw from the little clips that I showed you, the students worked on their essay writing. They finished their plan. I gave them 10 minutes to finish their plan, and while they were finishing their plan, I did an extra one on the board showing them how they can do a plan with 3 reasons instead of 2. And then I timed them for 45 minutes so that they can write their essays. I have their essays. I'm probably gonna take it home with me and start reading it. I actually have to take a couple of papers home to grade with me because it's already 4:45 and I don't want to stay in school till late, and I have a couple of things that I want to do because tomorrow is my nephew's birthday party. He's gonna turn 10 years old next Wednesday, September 19th, so that's fun. And I need to do things for that. So I'm just gonna take a couple of papers that I need to grade and put grades in the grade book when I come back on Monday so that it's all ready to go and I have the most updated grades on there. But they did that. So I'm going to be scoring their papers. I told them it's not for a grade, it's to get a score, to kind of have an idea where their writing skills are right now so that I can tailor my writing mini lessons for that. So then after we did that, they took the vocabulary test, they went to lunch, they went to music. When they came back from music, I went over their homework, which was the chapter 1 review test. I went page by page asking, anybody have a question and any problems on this page? If anybody raised their hand, we went over that question to make sure they understood it. So we did that. After we did that and they didn't have any more questions, I gave them their test. As they were taking their test, one of the standards that we didn't quite fully have time to fully practice, which was the one that I mentioned before, that I didn't think they were gonna have a lot of problems on, they ended up having 6 problems out of 25 be on that standard. So I said, okay, wait. I paused the test. I showed them the video of the teacher on YouTube, which I'll link down below, explaining the math behind that problem. And then I had them work on it. I showed them one example and I gave it to them as a freebie so they can kind of understand how to work it out. It is a higher order thinking standard. So after I went over that, we went back to doing it. But there was one problem in that standard that didn't quite fit the way the teacher was showing them and the way that I went over with them. So that caused a little bit of a stump for me. And I don't mind admitting, and I haven't taught math for 2 years, and I told them, I don't mind admitting I don't know everything. And there are things that I'm still learning, and there are things that I might have forgotten that I need to refresh my mind on. But you know what? That's part of being human. And just like you, I'm going to struggle a little bit with this now, but I'm going to figure it out, and we're going to figure it out, and we're going to learn it. So I didn't want them to stress too much over those questions. I tried to give them some hints and help them out while they were taking the test so they wouldn't feel as stressed out. Because then they told me, Ms. Sanchez, the rest of the test was fine. It was just those 6 problems that required more work and thinking. So we did that. So we didn't have time to do our social scientist artifacts. They turned them in. I'll show you in a moment when I take the camera off the tripod, all their little brown paper bags lined up over there by the computers. So that's one thing that we need to make sure we give time to on Monday. On Monday, we hope to have art for the first time this school year. And I know next week is the 5th week of school. We just haven't had art because we share the art teacher with another school. And for a couple of weeks, the teacher was not able to show up to our school. And then the past 2 weeks, every Monday has been either Labor Day or a teacher work day. So hopefully they'll have art for the first time on Monday, and that will be from 10 to 11. So on Monday, I'll give time for them to present their social scientist artifacts and share what they learned about that. And we'll wrap up chapter 1, and hopefully sometime next week, maybe on Tuesday, they'll take their chapter 1 test on the social scientist. All right, I wanted to show you a couple of things. One, these are a set of bookmarks that 2 of my students are so cute gave me. Look how cute these are. I have been eyeing these in Target, but they actually bought them at a bookstore for me, and they're perfect. I love these magnet little bookmarks, and these are Harry Potter, so it's awesome. Today, one of my students surprised me with one of my favorite treats, sour gummy bears. They know the way to my heart. I love this. And I had already had a box of these, but I also love hot tamales. Yes, I love spicy stuff. And hot tamales, I love cinnamon candy. So those are perfect. And I wanted to stand up and show you my shirt. So basically, I hope you can see the whole thing. It's Harry Potter versus Star Wars. So we have the hero, Harry and Luke. So it says hero, an orphan raised by his aunt and uncle that is learning to wield a supernatural weapon. So, of course, the supernatural weapon for Luke will be the lightsaber, and the supernatural weapon for Harry will be his wand. And then we have best friend. So we have Ron and Han Solo. Unconventional, yet very reliable, in love with hero's female friend. And then we have the female friend, which in Harry Potter is Hermione, and in Star Wars is Leia. And it says intelligent and helpful, in love with hero's best friend. Then we have the mentor, Dumbledore and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Wise, old, and bearded teacher who sacrifices himself for the cause. And then we have the seeking redemption character, which is Severus Snape versus Darth Vader. Has a conflicting tie to protagonist, which is Luke or Harry Potter. Kills hero's mentor. And then we have Voldemort versus Darth Sidious, or Emperor Palpatine, who is the bad guy. Evil villain, pale and deformed, who will do anything to rule all. So that's a cool shirt. And of course, I brought my UltraSaber right here. Check it out. This is actually my son's UltraSaber, but I borrow it from time to time because it's so cool. And this UltraSaber, like I said, doesn't have all the bells and whistles. You could customize it to have like sound effects and light up features. And instead of the light just turning on and off, it could like slowly turn on. So it is really cool. Yes, it's the dark side. But like my brother Harif says, come to the dark side. We have cookies. All right, so that was fun. I brought it today. The kids loved it because that's just part of who I am, and I like to share things that make me excited and happy, and they just share parts about me and my childhood. All right, so that was it for today. I actually am going to finish planning on my own at home during the weekend so that I can see. I'm going to be doing a lot of catch up next week because I didn't get to science, I didn't get to social studies, and there's a couple of things that I'm already catching up to in reading next week because we were supposed to be in Unit 1, Week 2 this week, but we were catching up with Unit 1, Week 1 because I wanted to make sure I got that sample writing from them. And next week we do the second unit, so I'm trying to see how quickly I can pace it. I already started the lesson plans, but I'll finish that off and so forth. All right, so let me show you this crazy math that we were working on today and this week, but today it really stumped us, and the whole rationale behind that. And I'll also show you a scan of their nice bags that they put over there, and they're ready for them to present. So I also have a pile of papers to grade, so I'm just gonna take that home and slowly start grading them because I do need to get ahead on that. All right, so let me turn the camera around, take it out of the tripod, and show you what I mean. Let's go. So this is the math standard from the item specs, and the item specs are awesome because they tell you the content standard and they also tell you the assessment limits. So this is 1B and 1A. So determining the unknown whole number in an equation, but they want them to do it without solving using comparative relational thinking. And this one, 1A, is determining whether the statement is true or false. Again, without solving using comparative relational thinking. So these are the sample items that they will have. So they show them some samples as to what they need to find. But let me show you because this was a little tricky for me and for the students, and we got a little stumped. So this problem is fine, and basically this is how you would solve it. Let me take my Flair pen over here, and I'm using one hand. So basically they're saying you compare one number to the other number on the other side of the equation. We are balancing equations. So this one I don't know because I don't know the answer to n. So then I will now compare this number to this number. So what changed? How did 5 go to a 2? Well, we subtracted 3. Now, because this is a subtraction problem, we're going to use the same relationship. So that means that this n is going to be minus 3. So 39 minus 3 is 36. So n equals 36. Now, in order to check to make sure that is true, we work out the problem. So 39 minus 5 is 34. And 36 minus 2 is also 34. So check, check, I'm correct. Now, what stumped us is that on their test, the variable was not to the right of the equal sign. It was on the left. So let's take, for example, the same problem. Let's say that we have 39 n equals 36 minus 2. So what would happen is you would do your comparison. So 39 to 36, what changed? I went minus 3. However, as you can see here, I cannot do minus 3 here. I have to do plus 3. Sorry, this is a minus. I just want to make sure it's supposed to be minus. I have to do plus 3 in order to get n equals 5. So that, my friends, was very difficult and complicated. And I just finished figuring out this with the subtraction problem with the variable after school. So on Monday, I will be going over this with my students. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking of creating a notes sheet that they're gonna put in their notebooks so that they remember what to do. Because let me show you what we do when it is an addition problem. So here we go. So for example, here is one of the questions they had on their test. So they needed to find, without adding the numbers on each side of the equations, they need to choose the equation that is true. So they need to figure out if these statements are true. So this is a student's test. So I'm just gonna go ahead and write these numbers over here. So I'm gonna do 35 plus 52 equal 87 plus 52. So I will compare these two numbers. So I will say, okay, what changed? Well, I will have to subtract to see what's the difference. So that is 87 minus 35, which is 52. So I did plus 52. Now, in order for this to be true, because this is a addition problem, we're going to do the opposite relationship. So in order for this to be true, this has to be minus 52, but it's not. It's 52 and 52. It's the same thing. So this is false. This is not true. Now let me show you what is true. So this is what the answer actually is. So we have 63 plus 49 equals 65 plus 47. So first I compare these two numbers, all right? So what's the difference between 63 to 65? We did plus 2. Because this is addition, I have to do the opposite relationship. So in order for this to be true, 49 has to be minus 2 must equal 47, and that is true. Okay? So that, my friends, is what we've been working with comparative relational thinking. Now, let me show you another one with solving for n. So here, I compare these two numbers, and I don't know, because I don't know what n is. So I'm going to compare these two numbers. What changed between 94 to 114? So we're going to subtract to find out, and that is 20. So I did plus 20. So if the variable is on the left, you have to do, if it's addition, the same relationship. Oh my gosh. Because then you have to add 32 plus 20. 32 plus 20 is 52. And that's what makes the relationship true, because 52 plus 94 is 146, because 114 plus 32, it's 146. Wow, people. Let's say that I change it. So I'm going to do 52 plus 94 equals n plus 114. So then I don't know what this is. And I have to figure out the difference, which is plus 20. So in order to figure this out, I will have to do minus 20, because 52 minus 20 is 32. Oh my goodness, people. How complicated is that? And my little 9 and 10-year-olds have to understand this. As you can see, this is something that they're not just going to learn from having one lesson in their chapter. This is something that we're going to continue to have to practice in order for them to understand why these comparisons are done as we relate those numbers together in addition and subtraction equations. And I saw that this is something that later on, not in 4th grade, but I believe in 5th grade or even middle school, they're going to do with multiplication and division. But for now, they need to understand that for addition and subtraction. And this is an algebra standard. Operations and algebraic thinking. This is definitely a depth of knowledge 3. So that's what we were trying to rack our brains in, because some of the other problems were a little easier. Like this one is similar to what we did over here. But then they need to understand the thinking behind it, because then they have this problem and they have to know exactly what are the steps, what strategy they use in order to solve for n. Yep, that's what made the afternoon very interesting in my class. And the students saw me as a teacher. This was something that I sort of struggled with, and they need to understand I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try to find a way to the solution, and I love being able to model that for them. That what do I do when I get stumped over a math problem? When I get stumped over a new concept that I don't completely understand yet? So I will be sure to continue to explore that with them next week and have them you know, think of ways to remember how to solve this. So I have some notes to write and some things to get done with that. So that was the fun part of my class today. All right, now for some other things. I wanted to show you their paperbacks, so let's see that now. So here are their paperbacks for their social scientist artifacts, and it looks like a mess right now, but it's okay. And some of the students put these papers here instead of putting them in our Turnitin bin. But look how jam-packed these bags are. And I can't wait to see all their artifacts and have them present them so that we can learn more about the social scientists and have them show what they have learned about that. And the cool thing is that they did have a great time with that sorting activity, as you saw yesterday, and they want to do it again. So I'm going to have them do it again next week, and then they'll put together on their construction paper all those cards in the correct category for the social scientists. So that was interesting and fun. Next week, they're going to have a science homework where they're going to research on one constellation that they're going to get, and I need to put that together for them. So that's going to be fun. They'll get that on Monday, and it'll be due on Friday. So they had a social studies homework this week. They'll have science next week. And the math logs, we'll do them in class since it's a 4-day week again, since Wednesday of next week is a teacher planning day. All right, so that's all I have for you today for this week, week 4. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me and seeing how my day-to-day life goes as a teacher. And now I'm going to go and hunt for a birthday gift for my nephew. So I hope you enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought or any questions you may have. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell for notifications so you don't miss any future videos. I hope you have a beautiful, magical day. And don't forget to smile. I'll see you next time.